guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today's video is going to be another Monday mystery video on this channel, so with that being said, let's get right into it. Nicole Morin was born on April 1st, 1977 to her two parents, Janet and Art Morin. Sometime after this, Nicole's parents must have split up because at this time Nicole was living in a penthouse apartment with just her mother in Etobicoke, Canada, which is still in the general Toronto area. On July 30th, 1985, Nicole Morin was going about her day as a normal 8-year-old would on summer holidays. Her mom was running an at-home daycare, and around 10:30 a.m. Nicole went to check the mailbox. After she returned home, she told her mother that she would be going to meet a friend down at the pool, which was located behind the apartment building but still in the apartment complex. At some point after this, Nicole's friend had called up to her apartment, and Nicole said that she would be right down to go swimming. She said goodbye to her mother and left her apartment at 11 a.m. Now this is where things become a little bit unclear. There were two reenactments made of the time leading up to Nicole's disappearance, one made in 2007 and one made in 2014. And the strange thing is these two reenactments are not the same, and many of the main parts in this case are completely different in these reenactments. And I will link both of them down below so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. In the 2007 reenactment, Nicole's friend does not actually live in the apartment building, and Nicole has to buzz her in. And after Nicole buzzes her in, the friend waits in the lobby for 15 minutes and then calls up to Nicole's apartment. But Nicole has already left, so she talks to Janet, who says that Nicole is already on her way down and she should be there any minute. And that is when the friend hangs up the phone and goes straight to the pool.
Before 11 a.m. that morning, a friend of Nicole's arrived at the apartment lobby and buzzed the intercom to call Nicole. The two girls had plans to go swimming at the apartment's outdoor pool. Nicole promised her friend that she would be downstairs right away, so her friend stepped inside the lobby and waited. After her friend had waited approximately 15 minutes, she buzzed back upstairs and asked for Nicole. Jeanette, Nicole's mother, assumed nothing of it. Kids would be kids, and riding elevators was part of play.
In the 2014 reenactment, Nicole's friend lives in the apartment building, and after some people online have looked into this more, they found out that she actually lived on the 7th floor to be exact. So the friend lived in the apartment building, and her and Nicole had agreed to meet in the lobby. And the friend makes it to the lobby, and Nicole never arrives, so the friend just goes straight to the pool and doesn't make a phone call at all. The reason that I think this is so odd is because you'd think that police and the people who worked together to make the reenactment would know information such as if the friend lived in the building or if the friend had called Janet after Nicole didn't arrive to the lobby. Things like that, so you think that they would be more accurate in the video rather than having two reenactments that aren't even the same. Janet just assumed that Nicole was out playing with her friends, but when Nicole didn't return home for dinner, that is when Janet knew that something was wrong. Nicole went out almost every single day during the summer to play with her friends, but she was always home for dinner. So this immediately raised red flags for Janet, and she phoned the police around 6 p.m. Now that seems odd in this day and age, but I was actually talking to my mom about this case, and she said that back in those days, that was just the way it was. Kids would go out in the mornings to play with their friends, and because there was no cell phones or any way to keep in contact, her parents would mostly just say be back when the streetlights came on. So this was a fairly normal thing for parents and children to do, to just go out unsupervised and be expected at home at a certain time. At the time of Nicole's disappearance, Toronto was actually known as Good Toronto because things like that just didn't happen here. But after Nicole had gone missing, that had changed. This case is one that really changed parents' perspective on letting their children go out and play unsupervised. To this day, in Toronto, Nicole's case is one of the most popular. And after Nicole went missing, the area in which she disappeared from was searched extensively by police dogs, helicopters, hundreds of volunteers. Just so many people came out to look for this little girl, but nothing was ever found of her. On the day Nicole left her apartment, she was wearing a bathing suit and carrying a pink towel, and not even the towel has been found. It isn't exactly clear at which time Nicole did vanish that day. It isn't even clear if she had made it to the elevator, but some articles online do suggest that she made it to the lobby. Investigators in this case believe almost 100% that this was an abduction, and that doesn't usually happen in cases like this unless somebody witnessed the abduction, but I think in this case, given the circumstances, that is an understandable assumption. Investigators, as well as the public and Nicole's parents, believe that whoever abducted Nicole was either somebody who lived in the building, worked in the building, or somebody who was very familiar with the building and visited it often. It is also believed that whoever abducted Nicole was somebody that she knew, because the halls in this apartment building are very narrow and the walls are thin, so if Nicole had struggled, somebody would have likely heard her. This apartment building has exactly 427 units, meaning that leaves a lot of suspects for the police to look at. According to Nicole's parents, it wouldn't have been very hard for somebody to know Nicole's schedule in the summer because she went swimming almost every single day. I think that somebody living in the apartment building knew this, and they waited for the opportunity when Nicole was alone, and then they lured her into their apartment as to not cause a commotion. And this is really the only theory in this case. And nobody has been caught, and there haven't even been any really concrete suspects in this case. I haven't seen this confirmed anywhere, but I thought that I'd still mention it as it was in a couple articles, but allegedly 40 minutes before Nicole had vanished, there was a woman who was on Nicole's apartment floor, and this woman was not somebody that lived in the apartment building or not somebody that people who lived in the apartment building had recognized. She was blonde and wearing all white and carrying a notebook, and she never came forward to police. Now this next part likely has nothing to do with Nicole's abduction, but when police were searching Janet and Nicole's apartment, they found a notebook in Nicole's room, and inside the notebook was writing that said, "I am going to disappear," and it was confirmed to be written in Nicole's handwriting. Police chalk this up to being just an 8-year-old's imagination, but it is very eerie and makes me wonder if it was just Nicole's intuition or if somebody in the apartment building was possibly grooming her. On October 8th, 2014, someone called into Crime Stoppers to ask investigators to relook at a tip that was given in 1985. The tip came from Billy Joe Player, who was only 11 years old when Nicole disappeared. 2 days after Nicole's abduction, Billy reported hearing screams, which were also confirmed by some of his neighbors. The screams were said to be coming from the heavily wooded area along Horseshoe Valley Road, which is just 20 kilometers north of Barrie. But unfortunately, after searching this area, police turned up with absolutely nothing. Around the time that Nicole was abducted, 3 other girls had also gone missing around this general area. Christine Jessup, who was 9 years old, disappeared from her home in the October before Nicole vanished. Shannon Keenan, who was also 9, was believed to be abducted in January of 1983. Allison Parrott, who was 11, disappeared in July of 1986. It is unknown if any of these cases are related, but all of these girls have been found deceased except for Nicole. Nicole's parents tried very hard to never give up hope, and Janet kept Nicole's room exactly as it was for many years after she disappeared in hopes that her daughter would come home. To this day, Arndt still has hope that this case will soon be closed, and one day he will be able to find out what exactly happened to his daughter. But sadly, today this case has almost gone completely cold, and my heart goes out to Nicole's family, as I cannot imagine what it must be like to live without your child. I hope that with new technology, this case can soon be closed and her parents and all of her loved ones can get some closure on what exactly happened that day. And guys, that brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and turn on my notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!